Hello everybody and welcome back to Weeknight Hero. As always, I'm your GM, Evan. With the character creator video doing so well, I thought I'd lead into the next example video by simulating combat between two characters in a very recognizable fight so that people can kind of understand what's going on. So, like I had done it previously, we're doing it based off of Naruto, and last time we made the character of Naruto Uzumaki. This time we're going to have one of the most iconic battles from the series, and that's Naruto versus Pain. So, to set the scene, we had Pain devastate all of the Leaf Village. Hundreds of people are dead. Naruto appears with all of his frog allies, and he fights the Six Paths of Pain with them, but mostly on his own. So, while I was trying to work out this video, I was originally going to have him fight all six paths on their own and kind of play to the general flow of the initial battle. I realized that I was getting way too complicated for the basic combat video. I was applying tactics and strategies no first-time player is ever going to want to really look at. So I thought I'd split that first part of the battle into a second video, which is going to be the advanced combat one, since I was planning on doing that anyways. So, after fighting the six paths and destroying 5 out of the 6 of them, it's just down to Naruto, and it's just down to the Deva Path. Deva Path seemingly killed Hinata. Sorry, spoiler alert if you haven't seen something that's over 15 years old. But he seemingly kills Hinata, and Naruto is freaking out. So we're going to start there with his Six Tails transformation. So we'll set the scene. Naruto and Pain are going to be about equidistant from each other, and as I had commonly said, in the most basic of combat scenarios, you're going to put people in an empty field. And ironically enough, they are in an empty field in the ruins of the Leaf Village. So they are set roughly normal distance from each other, so I would reasonably say about 30 feet, and the two square off. The first thing you're going to want to know in a combat encounter are just the general active and passive defenses of the characters that are participating in it. And this goes more so for the game masters versus the players. But obviously, if you don't have an idea of what you're trying to hit, or if you don't know what the numbers are, right off the top of your head, just write them down on notebook paper. Right off the bat, we're going to recognize in the characters that Naruto is an active fighter and he likes close-range combat, so he has high both active defenses in his parry and dodge, and passive defenses with his toughness, fortitude, and will. Now, Pain is very different. The Deva Path centers almost entirely on its 3 core abilities, which are incredibly powerful, as you'll see in the combat video, and have so many uses. However, because it relies on these very costly powers, its active and passive defenses are rather weak. So you see them right here. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to roll for initiative. So I took the liberty of rolling ahead of time, just so the randomness of combat isn't going to throw off the purposes of this video. It's going to align pretty strongly with what we see in the actual canon battle. So Naruto rolled his 9, and Pain rolled a 16. So obviously Deva Path is going first. So me as a game master, knowing the things that the 6-tailed form of the 9-tailed fox can do, the first thing I want to do is hold Naruto in place. So we're going to use the Deva Path's Shinra Tensei, and we're going to have it perform a grab action. So the way that he does it is he purposefully holds Naruto back, or tries to hold him in place so he can't get close to him. So that's the first thing that he does. As a perception ranged move object power, he does not need to roll an attack save, but he does need to roll to hold Naruto in place. So that's the next part that we're going to do. Naruto rolls a 20, which is a critical success, meaning that Pain's attempt to telekinetically grab Naruto and hold him in place fails. So Naruto has his full range of abilities at the start of his turn. So the first thing he does, being a mindless monster, is to use a power attack. It does land, which is normal given the fact that the Devapath has such low, in all honesty, active defenses. So it then forces the Devapath, and so now we're going to switch over, and we're going to have the Devapath roll. He's going to roll against a difficulty check of 31, which is obscenely high. And it's, in all likelihood, not going to be able to stop the attack. So the Devapath rolls a 12. With its toughness save bonus of 8, it's a 20. So we just do simple math. 31 minus 20 is 11. So what does that mean? Well, for damage powers, the severity of the failure of your roll means that more damage and more negative effects are given out to you, because not only did you fail the blow, but you also failed so badly that you're suffering immense damage from it. So the way I like to look at it is anywhere from 0 to 5 difference is injury, and then anywhere from 5 on, so 6 to 10, is that character is both injured and dazed, and then anything from 11 to 15, that character is staggered, then anything from 16 to 20, that character is instantly incapacitated. So our 11 fits within the staggered range, and that means that Pain is both injured and staggered. And the effects are clear as day in the actual fight, because Naruto breaks through Pain's Shiratensei and swipes at him and knocks him across the battlefield, which, if we were using the knockback rules, makes total sense. I think he's knocked something like 200 or 400 feet away, and he is now left in a really bad spot, which shows in the rest of the fight. So knowing the danger that the Devapath is in, Pain chooses to ready his next attack. So, as we had mentioned in the combat maneuvers video, when you ready an attack, you are choosing a pre-selected action that you're going to do. In this case, he's going to be using the Bancho Tenin to fling stuff into Naruto by attracting them towards him in order to counter Naruto's next attack. Now, so comparing the two rolls, Naruto performs his Tailed Beast ball attack, and he rolls a 4. And Pain rolls a 15 on his Bancho Tenin, which means that Pain is the one who wins, and as the counterer, he's able to use his attack to smack Naruto in the face and deflect his Tailed Beast bomb. And so therefore he avoids getting damaged by something that would, in all likelihood, have defeated him in this round. So as we move on to round 3, there's a lot of stuff that's going on in the background, but for the most part, Pain runs away. So he's moving a bit closer to Nagato, and Naruto in his Tailed Beast form chases after him. So both of them are using both of their move actions in order to flee the scene with Naruto chasing after Pain. So round 3 is a wash. Nothing happens. So moving into round 4, Pain's player, the game master, now decides that he needs to do something in order to stop Naruto, because Naruto has the ability to defeat his character very easily. So he uses extraordinary effort, which is another level of extra effort, which is going to leave the character tired, but he's going to then use Chibaku Tensei, which allows him to create a gravity well, in effect, hold Naruto in place, and in essence act like a more damaging move object power, very similar to Shinra Tensei and Bancho Tenin. And he's going to perform that same action that he had done in round 1, just with more oomph put into it. So rolling against the effect of Chibaku Tensei, Naruto gets a 14, and then he adds it to the plus 10 that he has from his toughness save. So we got 24. The difficulty check now of the Chibaku Tensei, after having its effect rank boosted by 2 points with extraordinary effort, is 30. So naturally he fails. So he's held in place, cannot escape, and he will be again damaged on the next round. Thankfully, Naruto has a healing factor, which is bolstered by the 6th tail form. And in essence, he's being injured in a round, and then he is going to be healed of that injury in the same round, which means that we're now in a stalemate, which makes sense because Naruto now has a flashback. He talks with his dad. He does blah, 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 blah. A bunch of stuff happens that does not directly relate to the battle. So we now move into round 5 with, in essence, a blank slate. So in this round, Pain has had the opportunity to recover from some of his injuries. I still have him as being tired. And Naruto has now become exactly even with his healing factor and the damaging effects of Chubaku Tensei. He's able to free himself and continue healing. So now we are both back at the same state, only now Pain is just tired. So Naruto attacks, and he succeeds in the attack. And in landing the blow, Pain is now dazed, while Pain trades the next blow, and he simply injures Naruto. Now in round 6, Pain, being dazed, is able to now ready his Shinra Tensei in order to block Naruto's next attack. So we're using, once again, move object and Pain's ability to counter Naruto's attacks. And because he's dazed, he's only allowed a move action or a standard action. So in this round, he chooses the standard action. But Naruto's player, throwing off the Game Master, instead of just attacking, instead uses another one of Naruto's signature attacks, which is the Shadow Clone Jutsu. And he produces 2 Shadow Clones. So no longer dazed, and having lost that last action, Pain goes into this new round and instead tries to close the distance and ready the Shinra Tensei again. It's true to source material in that the Deva Path is overly reliant on its core 3 abilities, which are all just variations on the move object power. It's also a really great example of analysis paralysis. Why would I give the Deva Path 14 different powers when I have to know how all 14 of the powers are going to work in this combat scenario? It's hard. We're playing this game for fun. It's not unreasonable for him to just use all move object powers because it helps the character playing Naruto understand how the fight's going to go. So he readies another Shinra Tensei, and we have Naruto instead use the best purpose of the Shadow Clone Jutsu, which is to distract their opponent. So the first thing he does is he tries to hide in plain sight. So I roll for it. Naruto gets a 1, so it's an automatic failure. And then regardless of whatever Pain rolled, he's going to see through it. So Naruto's sneak attack fails. The next step has him try to use a feint with the Rasen Shuriken. So we're using the feint in order to lower Pain's active defenses and leave him vulnerable. And then Naruto is going to swing in there with a power attack and clobber him and hopefully end the fight in one more hit. So we roll for Naruto's deception with his relatively low deception bonus. The normal roll of 5 does absolutely nothing against Pain's insight, and so the feint action doesn't really work. So Naruto used up all his actions trying to feint Pain, and then he throws the Rasen Shuriken, and bam, it just gets blocked by the Shinra Tensei. So let's do an assessment of the battlefield. Pain is now using all of his momentum and losing it, constantly readying these attacks in order to deflect Naruto's powerful blows. Naruto has all the initiative here. So it's only a matter of time before his feint attack works. It's only a matter of time before the Rasengan lands a blow, and it's only a matter of time before Shinra Tensei stops countering Naruto's attacks. So it lines up exactly with what we see in the actual battle by having Naruto use just pure charisma and spunk to throw 1,000 things at a wall and make it stick, which is what we're going to see in this next round. Naruto instead commands his Shadow Clones to move forward in order to grab Pain. And as he throws the Rasen Shuriken, Pain is now forced to make a decision. Is the Shinra Tensei going to stop the 2 clones that are about to grab him, who are using the grab action, or is he going to use it in order to stop the Rasen Shuriken? So instead, now's when the Game Master should look at the initiative order. When I had made the Shadow Clones initially, they do have lower initiative than Naruto's character does. He makes the wrong decision, and he uses the Shinra Tensei to block the Rasen Shuriken because it's very likely to be a fatal attack. However, the Shadow Clones then move in and they are going to roll to grab him. And at the start of Pain's next round, being the one in the lead initiative order, he just uses Shinra Tensei to knock both of the clones back because it's a perception range power. So he's able to, as long as he recognizes where they are, he can still use it in order to break the hold, which he does. So he breaks the hold. Naruto then summons all of his multiple shadow clones to use as a big distraction and to use in a team attack. Pain uses his Shinra Tensei once again in order to block all the shadow clones to keep them from launching their grab attacks, which is the wrong thing to do. But in this situation, he doesn't actually know where Naruto is because he is now hidden amongst all of the clones. He doesn't know which one the real one is. So he makes the wrong decision here, despite the fact that Naruto is next in the initiative order. So he does that. Naruto then comes in with his Rasengan, and bam, defeats David Path. In this situation, despite rolling an 8, combined with the injuries that he's already suffered when he got first staggered and then when he got dazed, he is now at a 6. So 8 plus 6, 14, versus the 31 of the Rasengan. That means that he is defeated. And he is instantly incapacitated, meaning that the fight is now over, which is in line with what happens. And then Naruto goes on to then talk to Nagato, and he saves everyone in the village. Yay, hooray, end of the battle. So what are some of the core things that we've demonstrated in this fight? Firstly, we've discussed initiatives. We've discussed active defenses. We've discussed how characters get injured and how they recover from these rolls. And we've gone into some general tactics about how a fight will play out. Really, in these combat simulators, it's like a dance. It's very important to recognize what your action's going to be and the timing of it. As we clearly saw in this battle, despite the fact that Pain has an overwhelmingly useful power, there are no weaknesses with Shinra Tensei, Bancho Tensei, or Chibaku Tensei. He did lose, however, to Naruto because Naruto, well, if I'm being honest, the reason why Naruto won is because he had the summon power. The summon power is incredibly broken. I'll talk about it more in the advanced combat video. But really the reason why he won is because he kept the momentum and he used the action orders to his advantage in the fight, which is also why I played the fight completely straight. We hadn't even got into the advanced tactics. I didn't even use really power stunts other than the extraordinary effort. I also really didn't use some of the other rules that come into effect with Mutants and Masterminds. Really add spice to the game. Thank you so much for listening. Stay tuned for the advanced combat video if you're ready for it.